Alright, we got another. Oh shit. Alright, we got another video. This one is called "Young Boyfriend Snaps After Catching Former Coach in His Girlfriend's Bedroom."
If you get caught in another man's house with his wife or his girlfriend and he unalive you, that's nobody's fault but yours. And if you ask me, it was a crime of passion, nothing more, nothing less.
As a man, you should never ever go to a man's place and smash his girl in his bed. That's you playing with your life.
She said she got a boyfriend. I say, so you want another one? Lol.
Damn! I ain't gonna lie. You risking your life doing that. Knowingly, like it's different if you don't know that she doesn't have like a boyfriend. But knowingly, you go to this girl's house knowing that she has a boyfriend. And she's all like, oh yeah, he at work or he on a business trip or he left to go somewhere. Can't do it. You knowingly that her boyfriend at any time could pop up at her house and walk through her door. Because you don't even know that he probably like his name on a lease or that's his house or something like that. He just walked through the door. First thing he gonna see when he get to the bedroom is you on top of her. I ain't gonna lie. You just risking your life. You just playing with your life at that point.
Those words were posted on Facebook by Coach Beverly back in 2012. 13 years later, that exact mentality would cost him his life.
He felt that 39-year-old coach in the bed with his wife or girlfriend, whoever she may be. And what did you expect that man to do? He had no motherfucking money for a hotel.
Let me see. 23-year-old man unalive 39-year-old football coach in Alabama. Oh, I just heard about this story on Instagram, so this is where we're gonna get all the details. Okay.
In the car? I don't know. At the lake.
What started as a Wednesday night in Birmingham, Alabama, turned into a tragedy that has the entire community talking. Before we dive deep into this story, let me tell you about the three people at the center of it all. First, we have Demetrice Beverly, 39 years old, but everyone knew him as Coach Meat. He was an assistant football coach at Parker High School, a husband, a father, and someone who was genuinely respected in the Birmingham community. This wasn't just some random guy. Beverly had actually played college football himself at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff from 2003 to 2007. He was part of their 2006 SWAC Western Division Championship team. After his playing days, he came back home and eventually found his calling as a coach, mentoring young men and helping them reach their potential. Then we have Jamia Lawson, 21 years old, a former Parker High School student. And here's where things get interesting, because Beverly returned to coach at Parker High School in 2020. That means when he started coaching there, Jamia would have been around 16 years old. Now, I'm not saying anything happened back then, but that timeline has a lot of people raising their eyebrows. And finally, we have DeCorlean Keyshawn Robinson, 23 years old, Jamia's boyfriend. This young man was working, trying to provide for his household, and by all accounts, was in a committed relationship with Jamia. Let me take you back to that Facebook post I mentioned at the beginning. Beverly didn't just post that once and forget about it. Over the years, he made several posts that, looking back now, paint a very clear picture of his mindset when it came to relationships. If you got two girls and can't choose between them, either flip a coin or have a bedroom tiebreaker. I'm just saying.
Oh, Buddy was on that. Oh, he was on that type of timing. Buddy was on that type of timing. He didn't care. He liked playing with his life. That's what he was on. I see. He was on that type of time. He was just playing with his life. He just like playing with his life. You know, he just like playing with his life. Some of us have one life. He think he has two life. He think this Call of Duty. He think he gonna respond. After this. He's just playing with his life.
And then there was this one. If I can build my perfect girl, she would have my ex-girlfriend's ways, my after-college girl's looks, have a body like the track star I dated, and have the brains of the nerd I cheated off of, my perfect girl. Now, when he posted these things years ago, they probably seemed like harmless jokes to his friends. But after what happened on August 13th, 2025, these posts started circulating again, and people began to see them differently. Not as jokes, but as red flags. Evidence of a man who didn't respect boundaries, who thought it was okay to pursue women who were already in relationships. But Beverly wasn't the only one whose old social media posts would come back to haunt him. Robinson had his own concerning post from back in 2020 when he was just 18 years old. Next to a video of a weapon being fired, he wrote, "On God, Jamia Lawson, play with me." Looking back, that post feels like a warning. A young man already showing signs of the kind of temper that would eventually explode in that apartment at Lakeshore Ridge. Now let's talk about what actually happened on that Wednesday night. According to investigators, Beverly was inside the Lakeshore Ridge apartments with Jamia Lawson. Some reports suggest he may have entered through the balcony to avoid being seen on the Ring camera, though this hasn't been officially confirmed. What we do know is that Robinson came home from work earlier than expected, and when he walked into that bedroom, he found Beverly, a married man, nearly 40 years old, in bed with his girlfriend. What happened next lasted only moments, but the consequences will last forever. Robinson retrieved a weapon, not just any weapon, but one equipped with what's called a switch, an illegal...
Whoa! He had a switch on him? Swiss cheese. That's why in the last post... oh no, she didn't say how much. I thought, never mind. I thought he only shot him 4 times.
Legal modification that allows rapid firing. Beverly was struck multiple times and died at the scene. Jamia Lawson made the 911 call. When officers arrived, they found Beverly unresponsive in the bedroom. Robinson didn't run far. Police arrested him right there in the apartment parking lot. He was charged with murder and unlawful possession of a firearm conversion device. He's currently being held in Jefferson County Jail with no bond. But here's where the story gets even more complex, because while Beverly's family, his students, and his colleagues were mourning the loss of a man they considered a mentor and a positive force in the community, the internet had a very different reaction. According to the uncle, Beverly had told Jamia that he was, quote, unhappy with his wife.
See, you don't know this. My niece had to get a second job. Maybe she didn't know all...
See, you didn't know this. My niece had to get a second job. Maybe she didn't know this would have happened. But his grown should have known better. Don't blame the child when he was 39. Foot, y'all. Weird as hell. He was unhappy with his wife. That's not my niece's fault. But here's the problem. Your niece knew. Your niece is 23. She's old enough to drink. Your niece knew that she had a boyfriend. And she probably knew his temperament, probably knew he kept a gun around. So why would she bring him, 39, back to her or their apartment? I know that he said that they shared an apartment. Back to their apartment, where he could just pop up at any time, even because it happened. He popped up when earlier from work than expected. He just popped up, and you knowingly just gonna let this just ride out in your apartment?
this would have happened. But his grown knew better. Don't blame the child. The niece was 21 years old when he was 39, and he was also unhappy with his wife. That's not my niece's fault.
This suggests that Beverly wasn't just having a casual fling. He was potentially trying to build something more serious with this young woman. Remember, Beverly returned to Parker High School as a coach in 2020. Jamia Lawson was a student there, and she would have been approximately 16 years old at that time. Beverly was 34. Now, we have no evidence that anything inappropriate happened while she was a student, but the optics looked terrible.
Yeah,
so the question is, when did this relationship really begin? Was there grooming involved? How does a former student end up in a relationship with her former coach just a few years after graduation? These questions got even louder when people realized Beverly's nickname was Coach Meat. Some found that ironic, given the circumstances. Others found it disturbing. Now, still with so many unanswered questions, the football coach's cousin had briefly spoken on social media. After all the backlash that her cousin was getting, she cleared some things up. Check out about 5 minutes of this 30-minute live.
Charges having. But get what? Charge of 5. And that boy had that switch on him. Right. Okay, I'll talk about. Somebody got to speak for him. Free nothing. Get what? We still gonna say free him because, like I said, I'm praying for his family too. You know why? Because that girl put my cousin in a fucked up situation. Get what? You don't know what they done did. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Seen a lot of shit. Wait a minute. Let me say this because I'm damn near for it. I'm a real bitch. Get what? I'ma pray for his family. What? I ain't gonna do that. Sorry, I'm a real. I ain't doing that. I'm a real. I'm a real. Get what? Get what? I'm 10 for tattoo to a certain. I got common sense. So get what? I'ma pray for his family too. You know why? That girl put my cousin and that boy in a situation. Praying for his family too because it's fucked up. I'm a real. Y'all fucked up and thought that boy was gonna get off on. I been knew. Why y'all think I been sent back? We been talking to the detective. We already knew what was up. Why y'all think I ain't been saying it for real? Because I already knew. Oh, I been saying bad. Y'all been dogging my cousin out. Y'all been sharing him and his wife. Them folks not confrontational. They don't do Facebook. Y'all talking all that shit. Talking about that girl love her husband. Through all of, yeah, she's hurt. Yeah, she hurt, but get what? She's a real chick. She know how this shit go. Y'all know how this shit go. Hold on. I ain't got to share.
Yes, I do.
Y'all shit go. Y'all niggas be cheating. Y'all fuck with married niggas. I know plenty. Hold up, Toy. Just please let me pop my shit for my cousin. Get what? Y'all hoes be trying to act like y'all loud. I'm on here looking just. This right here the real me. I don't give a. Y'all been hurting my feelings all day. My cousin me and Sade, like my brother and sister. I've been watching y'all dog my cousin out all day long. Hurt my feelings. But get what? I ain't shut up still. I just been looking and watching. Cause I already knew. Y'all on Clubhouse saying. Y'all on Darren, take them to the store, please. Y'all on Clubhouse saying, oh, a dead man can't talk. Yeah.
Clubhouse? People still using Clubhouse? What the hell?
Y'all on Clubhouse saying, oh, she gonna stand with her nigga. But guess what? Guess who she stand with? Who with? The dead nigga.
But she was in a relationship with a man. That's what I don't know. I don't know. We can only say he probably allegedly did something with her when he went to the school. That's all we can say. We don't know.
Guess who she stood with? Guess why that boy got that charges? She stood with the dead nigga. My cousin is a good nigga. He just made a bad choice. Y'all dead ass wrong for that.
Now, the alleged female that is the cause of all this have deactivated her Facebook page.
After everything that happened, after Robinson was arrested and Beverly was dead, Jamia Lawson deactivated her Facebook page. But before she did, she allegedly made posts that seemed to show more loyalty to Beverly than to her own boyfriend, who was now facing murder charges.
That's what I don't get. That's just something ain't adding up. That's why something ain't adding up. You gonna show more loyalty to your side piece than your boyfriend. I don't get it.
Robinson isn't just charged with murder. He's also facing unlawful possession of a firearm conversion device, that switch I mentioned earlier. This is a federal offense, and it's what many people believe will destroy any chance he has of claiming this was a crime of passion or self-defense. See, if Robinson had used a regular weapon, his lawyers might have been able to argue that he came home, saw another man in his bed, and reacted in the heat of the moment.
True, that's what I was thinking. That switch. That switch probably is what done him in. And plus that Facebook posting or whatever that post of him shooting the gun out the car, that probably didn't help his case either. But that switch probably what threw it out.
That's a classic crime of passion defense that has worked in similar cases. But that switch changes everything. It allows a weapon to fire rapidly, multiple times, in quick succession. To prosecutors, that suggests this wasn't just a momentary lapse in judgment. This was excessive force. And the fact that he had an illegal weapon modification suggests premeditation or at least a pattern of dangerous behavior. Legal experts are saying Robinson could be looking at decades in prison, not just for the shooting, but for the federal weapons charge that comes with that switch. Meanwhile, people are still debating whether Jamia Lawson should face charges herself.
He should be a free man and his girl should be locked up because she was the accomplice in this. She was the reason it happened and she was the initiator, man. I don't care what nobody say. Arrest that girl. Arrest that girl, man, because without her, none of this would even happen.
Now,
I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of agreeing with him. She should be facing some charges too, cause ain't no way. This looking like a setup, a weird setup. Like, cause two people basically lost their life, cause he's going to prison for however long he's going to prison for. It's gonna be for some years, so he ain't gonna be like when he gets out, like, and he did. So it's like you had a boyfriend and you decide to cheat on your boyfriend with another man. Your boyfriend come home, catch you in the act with your side piece, shoot the side piece, You post on Facebook siding with the side piece, not your boyfriend.
Beverly's wife didn't just lose her husband. She lost him in the most humiliating way possible. She found out about his death and his infidelity at the same time. Imagine getting that phone call. Your husband is dead, and by the way, he died in another woman's bed. The wife is now left to explain to their children why daddy isn't coming home. She's left to deal with the whispers, the social media posts, the community judgment. She's dealing with grief and betrayal simultaneously. Beverly's students at Parker High School are also struggling. These were young men who looked up to Coach Meat, who saw him as a role model, someone who taught them about discipline and making good choices. Now they have to reconcile the man they knew with the man who died in another man's bedroom. The timing made it even worse. Beverly died just 1 week before the Stop the Violence Classic, an annual game designed to promote unity and safer communities. The irony wasn't lost on anyone that a coach who preached about making good decisions became a victim of the very violence the event was meant to prevent. But here's what's really dividing the community: the question of who is most to blame.
If a man come home and
The girl, the woman, she's most to blame here because she knew everything. She knew everything. You had a boyfriend, but you messing around with another man.
his home and find another man in his motherfucking home, what do you expect that motherfucking man to do? This man was going to work, providing for his motherfucking family. Then he come home to a nigga in his motherfucking bed with his woman, and then that motherfucking man got a wife and kids at fucking home. He had other shit. He should have been at fucking work. He had no motherfucking money for a hotel, bitch. You gonna fuck her in the car? Bitch, fuck her at the, I don't know. At the lake, he got a motherfucking woman at home. If she ain't enough for him, he need to get rid of her ass.
As this story continues to unfold in the courts, one thing is clear. This tragedy was completely preventable. If Beverly had stayed home with his wife and children, if Jamia had ended her relationship before starting something new, if Robinson had walked away instead of reaching for a weapon, any one of those different choices could have prevented this devastation. But they didn't make those choices. And now we have a dead coach, a young man facing life in prison, a widow trying to pick up the pieces, children without their...
Oh, he's facing life. Oh. I thought... Basically dead. At that point, basically dead. Life in prison, no possibility of parole. Basically life in prison. I mean, it's basically you being dead.
Father and a community forced to confront some uncomfortable truths about respect, accountability, and consequences. People need to stop using excuses for bad behavior. Everything we do, good or bad, has consequences. Remember that Beverly's old Facebook post? She said she got a boyfriend. I say, so you want another one? LOL. Wasn't just a joke. It was a mindset that other people's relationships didn't matter, the boundaries were suggestions, that he could take what he wanted without consequences. For 13 years, that mindset served him just fine, until the night it didn't. Now I want to hear from you. Was this a crime of passion that deserved sympathy, or was Robinson wrong for taking someone's life regardless of the circumstances? Should Jamia face charges for her role in creating the situation? And what about Beverly? Was he a good man who made a bad choice, or was this tragedy the inevitable result of years of disrespecting other people's relationships? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is one of those stories where every perspective tells a different truth. And remember, one choice, one night can rewrite everybody's future forever.
I ain't gonna lie. She definitely needs to go to jail, because I ain't gonna lie. No. She definitely could have prevented this. He could have prevented this. I forgot his name. Her side piece could have prevented this. Like, the boyfriend didn't know nothing. So the boyfriend is already obsolete, excluded from this. He could not have prevented nothing because he didn't know nothing. The boyfriend didn't know that she was cheating on him. He didn't know nothing. So he's excluded. The only two people who I could prevented this was her and him, her side piece. Those are the only two people who could have prevented this. He could have stayed at home, and she could have just been loyal to her boyfriend. Do I think that he needs to go to jail? That the boyfriend needs to go to jail? I don't think he needs to go to jail for life. I don't think he needs to be put in jail for life. That's what I don't think. I don't think that he needs to go to jail for life. The only thing that they got him on is that switch. If he didn't have that switch, he probably would be looking at probably like a few years, right? That man should have been home with his family, Point blank, period. Married men shouldn't be cheating, period. I hate that for his wife and children. That is the ultimate betrayal and humiliation. There is no comfortable way to explain this to his children when they become of age. He honestly got what he was looking for. Stop playing with people because you will get effed up. She's just as trifling as him. I'm starting to think that she should get goddamn life, because you was playing both sides of the coin, and he was playing both sides of the coin too. But the only thing, did he know that she had a boy? He had to know that she had a boyfriend, which makes it more odd. Maybe that's why he felt safe cheating on his wife with her, because she also had a boyfriend. So it's like, I won't tell, you won't tell, because we both got relationships going on. But he has more to lose than her. This young man has ruined his life for an unfaithful girlfriend. Young men, walk away. Think about yourself and your future. You are going to prison, and she will move on to another man. This could happen to anyone whose heart is broken right in front of your face. The coach brought this upon himself. There are consequences for all actions. We may not agree to what happened, but we reap what we sow. That's true. Like, he should have just walked away. It ain't no use of throwing your life away for an unfaithful girlfriend who cheated on you right in your face. Like, just walk away. It ain't even worth it. Cheating will never give you a positive ending result Cheating will never give you a positive result at the end. Losing your freedom for a girl who cheated on you? Nah. Man. And it's a sad story because there's no happy ending on neither side.
It's too many dead presidents. Want this life, but I showed her a glimpse. The bottom of shoes ain't red. I'm sipping Easter pink, baby. I keep a pint in a Maybach fridge. I don't like fucking with bum ass hoes. I got a good reputation. How we got beef, boy, you nameless. I've been the same since the fame hit. I feel like Saturn had too many rings. Off Miley Cyrus, got her geek. I got too many hoes from A to Z. This not a drill, bitch, like I'm V's. Slam a bitch like smack down in the ring. Missed calls, I ain't hear my cell phone ring. Come hideaway with a real nigga. They feeling